So how was everyone else's weeks? Not Ashley.
Like last week
Maybe.
or this
No, I
week?
think
'Cause this
he
week
meant
just
like the
started.
past 7 days.
The week from the last episode to
Tuesday.
this episode.
Yeah, from last episode to this episode.
Dang.
Tater speaks the truth.
I know. I mean, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, Balls, you had something you wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What is
Now we'll see who's really creepy.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Oh, okay. I'm
I
ready.
don't know, what are we talking about? Which thing? I had
It's
plenty.
not Tater in the video. It's a lie.
What?
What?
That would also be a great segue to R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Which thing am I bringing up?
The school thing. What the fuck
Oh,
else?
that doesn't
You gotta-
make it a creep. You had me confused. I was like, man, where did I put my thing?
Where did I
Call me
put my
creep. You know?
Like, where did I stick it? Just
No, latest Board of Ed, Department of Ed, I get them too confused, whatever. One's the former, one's the current.
Department is
news
current.
Is that either way, they both suck because my wife's school that she's in, she told me on Thursday that they quarantined 2 classrooms because students that tested positive. And the DOE, in their infinite wisdom, told the workers that they are to not quarantine. So the students quarantined, but not the workers, because they're vaccinated.
That's
So they're forcing you to get the vaccination, and then they're forcing you to stay at work, even though you were in direct contact with multiple people that tested positive.
Dear DOE,
Yeah,
where the fuck is your common sense?
yeah.
And they had
Because-
that whole injunction thing where they tried to, they put a stay on the requirement that employees had to get the vaccine.
Saturday or Sunday, I think it happened.
Now the court has thrown that out, and they're like, okay, well, we'll reinstate it as of Friday
Yeah.
instead of immediately.
Yeah, so instead of it being on Monday, it's now moved to Friday, which today was my wife's last day of work before going on maternity leave. So she would have waited, but anyway. And then today she texted me to tell me that there were 3 more classrooms that they quarantined, and again the workers have to stay. I'm sorry, they don't. Well, nobody has to stay. You can use your sick days or leave without pay. But the point is that they're not telling the workers that have been in direct contact to quarantine, because they should. Even if they are vaccinated, they should
I
still.
feel like
Because they can
on
carry
their
it.
own they should
Can't.
self quarantine on their
But
own.
they can't. They have to go to work.
They'll get charged
They-
sick
they have
days
to- you're
or
right,
be
they
leave
have to
without
burn their
pay,
time.
and then face
That's
disciplinary.
just
And we were talking about this earlier, Balls. Like it's comes down to the dollar, the almighty
Yeah.
dollar.
100%.
I love how Bex is always in that position where her face gets blocked by her name tag on her right side.
What? It's blocking my face? On
It
my
will
side,
when-
it,
It will
It's
when
on
I
this
when I
side
put it
too.
on there.
When the CG goes.
I don't want you to put it on me.
Well, okay, there you go. But no, we were talking about it. It's like it comes down to, it's not about protecting the kids. It's not about protecting the teachers. It's not about protecting the parents. It's about
Yeah.
their bottom line. It's
the money.
the touching.
Money is
they're
And-
touching.
For every kid, that's why they
the
want perfect attendance.
touching.
Every kid that shows up to school, they get paid for every day.
The cha-ching.
What do you
So
think?
But
I
what if
said?
they notice that they have more and more like classrooms that they're quarantining? Like, don't they see that there's possibly a
You're
correlation
asking to
there?
use common sense. Come
Yeah.
on.
Well, like they do 1 + 1 is 2 in school. You think the people that are in there can get the basics down?
With this new Common Core or whatever.
Yeah,
they're
I was waiting
teaching
for
the kids
that.
now.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do that kind of math.
And then
That's how I
second,
usually
God
do, man.
forbid something happens to anyone, even if they're just severely ill, and hopefully nothing bad happens to anyone, especially the kids. But they'll be the first ones to be like, "Oh, our thoughts and prayers. We'll look into how this happened, and we'll do better." And they know
Any
how.
company says
Yeah,
that.
you know,
Yeah.
it won't be their fault.
Yeah, of course not.
And think
Right.
about if any of the teachers or workers there has it now, and may not have full blown symptoms because they're vaccinated, so maybe they don't feel as bad, and then give it to somebody else, and then that person dies.
And your wife teaches what grades?
She's just pre-K.
So they're not even anywhere near eligible to get it yet.
No.
Wow.
And thankfully the rates are fairly low for that age, but they're not
5 classrooms.
zero. No, and
Right.
just in general, like it's not zero, regardless. So all those kids are at risk, and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So-
and my wife's like, "Oh," when she texts me that, I'm like, can you please just come home? Like, seriously." And she's
Right.
like, "Oh, they don't have a sub for me." I went, "Are you fucking stupid?" I'm like, "Just walk out and be like, I'm leaving later, because this is her last day." I'm like, "Just
She
walk
could
out."
also just say she has cramps and she thinks it's happening
Yeah.
or some
I
shit.
just-
Just
I
leave.
would just be like, oh, it's
Yeah, get a little water balloon, pop it. I think my water broke.
like, no, sorry. She rolled over
It was
onto
gas.
my bladder and
Yeah,
shit myself.
just gas.
does it feel
My
good to have her
water
home
bottle.
though, out of it for a long time?
I'm glad that they're, because that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't inspire a lot of faith. I wouldn't want to work somewhere like that. And it sucks when it's like the entire system.
And are they letting all the parents know about all the different classrooms that are quarantined, or is it just the kids in the classroom that are being notified?
I'm
Like,
pretty
in the
sure
specific-
that I'm pretty sure that the parents that are, if their child is in that classroom that was quarantined, they're notified. The other
Mhm.
parents, I don't think, have been notified.
And what does being in a quarantine classroom mean? Does it mean that those kids just don't come back in for 2 weeks, or that
Yeah.
they're okay?
No, as far as I know, I don't know if they have to. I was gonna say telework. Geez, if they have to do school
Remote?
from home, yeah,
Uh-huh.
remote or not. But I know that they're definitely not going into school. Like, that classroom is closed.
So basically, they're getting rid of the kids and making the teachers stay
Yep.
because you need somebody to babysit them, and
Which
it's
could
easier to
possibly
babysit them with
infect
less
other
kids.
students now if they have it and they don't know it.
Mhm.
Absolutely ass backwards.
All because they're like, well, you have the vaccine. It doesn't protect you from not getting it and not giving it. It
I just want to know who's creating
you
these
from
rules
dying.
and who has the common sense at this moment.
Well, there's no. It's government. There's no
Chancellor.
common sense.
Chancellor.
School chancellor, which is
Yeah.
approved by the mayor, which I don't know if it has to go to the governor level, but I would guess not, just since it's local. But like, definitely the school chancellors and all the underlings of the school chancellor.
I'd love to know what the Department of Health has to say about that. Although the Department of Health usually gives recommendations.
Mhm.
Everything's
Usually.
been a recommendation, but because like when I was flying out to Chicago, I reached out to my HR and was like, "Hey, so what do I do?" And they're like, "Oh, follow the Department of Health recommendations." So I'm like, "Okay, so they recommend that if I've traveled anywhere that I should stay home.
Recommend.
Are you telling me to stay home?" And HR's like, "No. We're suggesting that you follow the recommendations." And I say, "Okay, well, I'll be at work tomorrow."
That sounds
You're
like
basically telling me
like my job.
if you feel like staying home, stay home. Well, civil service, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
that's me. Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah. There was,
CSA.
there was a court officer that tested positive. The people that were in the room with it, first off, they didn't even tell them that the officer tested positive. They found out just like secondhand from like other officers. And so when they went and they, questioned the supervisors about it, they're like, well, what do you want to do? What do you mean? What do I want to do? You should send me home at that point.
They don't want people to have free
Immediately.
time
Like,
off.
it's-
That's the
That's
biggest
what it
thing.
is.
that
They
keeps
don't
coming
wanna
But
up.
they're also looking
Right.
at it as free time off. Like, I get, like, we're gonna go home and we're gonna chill and we're gonna have a day, but at the same time, this day could also, not taking this day could also cost us our lives and the lives of others around us.
Yeah, companies don't care about you ultimately. They just care
Correct.
about you while you can have your ass in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what
They-
they do, that's the bottom line.
And unless there's a shit ton of pressure to do anything different or anything better, they're just not going to do it if it affects their bottom line. And that's why we're always so suspicious about when our company's virtual signaling, we're doing the right things when it comes to social issues, or are they actually genuine about it? Like, are they only doing it because it's just going to lose them more money ultimately, not to not take a stand or whatnot? It's always coming down to money. And
Yeah.
but this feels particularly atrocious because it has to do with children who have no choice in any matter, who have no protection, no medical protection like a vaccine from this right now. It's just. It's
You
all
know what,
kids.
Shane? That's also a really good R. Kelly segue.
What about the children?
We might have to jigger some things.
Yeah, I know. Reconfigure it.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you say we, are we all involved in the editing process right now? I don't think so.
Yeah, we provide you with suggestions and recommendations, and then Shane goes about doing them.
Exactly, yeah,
Oh,
okay.
that is good, Ashley. That was your best joke in all 19 episodes, plus the 2 that are audio exclusive. So I guess actually we are technically old enough to drink. Because the 2 audio exclusive episodes that didn't quite make it to air because we didn't have video. Because
Oh yeah,
No,
one of
you,
those.
no,
one
you
of
already
those was a
said
really
19.
good
You made a big
episode.
deal
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Stop trying to backpedal with
We're
this.
setting up